Episode 104 is a big one. I'm now 10% of the way through this project. I'm actually kind of pleased I made it this far. Baltron is actually a bit of a wild one. This is the first game we have from Toei Animation. As you might expect, we're going to see a lot of awful games based on their cartoons. Baltron is wholly original, though. It's a game that's forgotten even in Japan, and the few who do remember it don't think of it very fondly. But I actually think Baltron's a pretty solid shoot-'em-up, especially for this early in the Famicom's lifespan. For once, I don't have to tell you the story, since the game has it in English in the game itself. I hope you caught all that. So let's play the game, and what you'll find is that Baltron is the secret love child between Defender and Scramble. The Defender influences are immediately obvious. You've got the radar up top, the variable speed flying, smart bombs in hyperspace. You have to play a bit to get into the Scramble. The fuel gauge is there, and so are the bombs dropped with every shot. But you have to progress a little bit in the game before the levels start becoming windy mazes. The controls are a little bit tricky to get a handle on. The A button fires both the bomb and the forward shot. There's no auto fire on it either. My wrist was getting worn out after my first game, so I switched over to my trusty Hudson Joy card, and there both of the auto fire settings were too fast for it. The B button has multiple functions assigned to it. Hold B and press up to release a flash bomb, killing all the enemies on the screen. Hold B and press down to initiate a space warp. The warp takes you to approximately the location you'd respawn at if you died. And it can drop you directly in the path of danger, so don't rely on that one. Both the flash bomb and the space warp cost fuel to use, so you can't just progress through the game by bombing everybody. Holding B and pressing in the direction opposite to the way your ship is going turns you around. This is mainly useful for turning around to pick up special items. What happens if you turn around at the start and just fly backwards? Well, the game just loops forever until you run out of fuel. There are no power-ups in Baltron. Instead, there are these blue fuel capsules launched from these towers. This bird, I think, that you can collect for points. And these koalas which grant an extra life. You can shoot all of the power-ups to destroy them, so you have to watch your shots as you're approaching them. The game alternates between surface attack and underground mazes. The underground sections start out pretty simple, but it isn't long before you have to shoot out force fields before you run into them, dodge flame jets, and pick which path you're going to go down. Those underground shooting areas are the best feature in Baltron. There's just more going on in them. Unfortunately, the hitboxes in Baltron are kind of rough. Sometimes that works in your favor, like when you can shoot out guys by aiming a bit below them. And sometimes it doesn't, like when you can run into rocks that you're nowhere near. The enemy spawns in Baltron have a bad tendency to clump right in front of you, too. So if you just keep shooting forward, you'll take out most of them as they spawn. Watch out for this pinwheel, though. It bounces your bullets back at you. The only way to take that one out is with a flash bomb. I found a claim that there's 512 stages in Baltron before you reach the boss. I'm fairly confident that's not accurate. I couldn't find video of it, but going off of people's playtime, a loop seems to take about 15 minutes. One of the big factors when I draw my conclusion on these games is, would I play it again? And yes, I absolutely would play Baltron again. It's a little bit rough, and it takes a couple minutes to get going, but I think it turns out to be pretty fun on the later levels. The biggest sin of Baltron is it was released a month before the game that would define shoot-'em-ups on the Famicom. Baltron is pretty solid. It's not great, but there's enough good stuff here. And you can easily find copies for 100 yen. You can't go wrong at that price.